Hey there, island dreamers, locals, and anyone craving a slice of paradise. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time, to the Fun and Key West podcast, where the vibe is always laid back, the stories are salty, and the drinks, well, they're definitely frozen. I'm your host, Michelle O'Connor, your unofficial tour guide to the Conch Republic. Whether you're planning your first trip, your fifth trip, or you're just daydreaming about trading the cubicle for the ocean breeze, you are in the right place. Here's the deal. This podcast is your insider's guide to all things Key West. We're talking where to eat, hello, conch fritters and key lime pie, where to drink, spoiler alert, there will be rum, where to stay, and all the quirky, wonderful things that make Key West the one-of-a-kind paradise we all love. Plus, we'll keep you up to date on the latest happenings, festivals, events, maybe even the occasional Hemingway lookalike sighting. And just to keep things spicy, we'll be bringing on some amazing guests now and then, locals, business owners, and people who know the island like the back of their sandy hand. So grab your flip-flops, pour yourself a cold one, and let's escape to the island state of mind together, whether you're tuning in from your hammock or your commute, while wishing it was a hammock. We've got all the Key West goodness coming your way. Thanks for being here. It's going to be a lot of fun in Key West. Let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to First Timer Friday. I'm Michelle with Fun in Key West, and today we're tackling a question I could ask way more than you'd think. What time is it in Key West? Now, sure, the easy answer is Eastern Standard Time, but Key West time is so much more than what's on the clock. It's a vibe. It's a lifestyle. It's knowing when to hop on a sunset cruise and when to sip your coffee slow, because honestly, you've got nowhere else to be. Whether you're planning bucket list adventures, juggling time zones, or just dreaming of what living on island time feels like, I'm going to break it down. How the time of the year, the daylight hours, and even the tides can make or break your perfect Key West experience. Stick around. We're about to turn back the clock, ditch the watch, and fully soak in what it means to live like a conch. Good morning, everybody. This is Michelle with with Fun in Key West. And it is First Timer Friday, and you would think this is the first time I'm doing this. I get asked a lot of times, what time is it in Key West? Well, that's a pretty simple answer, Eastern Standard Time. But there's a lot more to that question, and I think the answer is a little bit more detailed. So let's dive into it. Key West time is more than just a clock. Obviously, we talk about how cool it is to be on Key West time and that you're living on island time and, there's no clocks and you can put away your watch and all of that. You can do that, and that's one aspect of it. But if you're down there and you have certain things that you want to do and your bucket list is this long, which I don't recommend, but their time can matter, but it also depends on what you want to do as to the best time to come to Key West. So let's dive into that. Key West time is just more than a clock. Number one, what is the current time in Key West? Well, Key West sits on Eastern Standard Time. Does it observe daylight savings time? Yes, which means when the clocks fall back and the clocks skip ahead or spring ahead, they do that. Their clocks adjust. So if you are coming from a place that does not do that, easy thing I can say to do is grab one of those clock apps and put it on your phone so you know the time. So Key West, keep in mind, is the same time zone and the same time as New York. So as we start to merge out of the darker winter days, you realize how important that the daylight hours really do matter in Key West when you're trying to take advantages and do as much as you possibly can do. So longer days in the summer mean that there is more time for water activities, jet skiing and snorkeling and sunset cruises, because you have more time to get those done. In the winter, obviously the days are shorter and you have earlier sunsets. Dinner plans may shift earlier as sunset cruises are going to be earlier. I would argue that live music at the bars really isn't dependent on anything to do with daylight hours. So don't worry about too much about that. But it does impact your fishing if you're coming down to Key West or the Florida Keys, to go fishing because your high and low tides are part of the moon phases, and that affects deep sea fishing. And that affects times that you would leave and what fish and where you'd be going. So a lot of these charters are based on these weather and moon times that you can do. Here's another question I get. What are the best times for activities based on the time of year? In spring and summer, so that'd be coming up into March through September, this is your peak time for tourism. It's a great time for long beach days, late night bar hopping. And if you are planning to attend Fantasy Fest, you can start to think about planning and checking out the area before you head down. But Fantasy Fest obviously doesn't occur until October. Sunset cruises in this time frame are around 8 o'clock because of when sunset occurs. And so you'd have plenty of time all day to enjoy all those other activities. Jet skiing and snorkeling are going to fill up in the earlier days because a lot of in the mornings, because a lot of times people want to get those done and then go do the other things in the afternoon, go get the food and enjoy the bar scene or the live music. So they want to go out on the water early. Those may book up a little earlier so you may be going it late out in the afternoon. Now, in the fall and winter time, which we're in October through February, you got shorter daylight hours. It is getting a little bit longer, but it's still shorter. You've got sunset moves to around 5:30-ish. You're heading out a lot earlier on those sunset cruises. Sunrise is 7 a.m.-ish in the winter versus 6 a.m.-ish in the summer. If you are a sunrise person and like to go take sunrise photography or go for a sunrise run, your days are going to be shifting as well. There's lots of interesting things that Key West offers, and we talked about it on the calendar there, that they're things that they do for stargazing that you can go out and look at depending on the time of year and what's out there. If you're traveling and into Key West, here are some tips for you. Take into account the time difference especially if you were coming from a different time zone, use a date calculator. If you're coming in from overseas, it may be a different time frame of adding and subtracting. I just find one of those world clock apps to be easier for people, because then you're not adding and subtracting and having to think about it. If you're coming in from the West Coast, you're just 3 hours behind Key West. Keep that in mind. When you're flying, adjust for those time changes. A lot of times people don't realize the time changes, and you want to make sure when you're planning events that you're planning them in the Key West time versus your time zone. But you would want to be late or early, whichever way that falls. Check out our monthly calendar of events for things that are happening. As I've said, there's probably a festival every single month, and there's lots of cool things that you can do every month that are unique to that month. But you've had Fantasy Fest in October. You have live music you have live music every day. But there are concerts and other events that are happening periodically through every month. And as we start to get into the summer season, keep in mind that you're also going to have some of those tropical storms and we'll be in hurricane season. But be sure to check out our calendar of events over at FunInKeyWest.com, and that will give you an idea of what's happening for that month. When is the best time to visit Key West? Well, I'm going to say any time is the best time to visit Key West. Any day is the best day to be in Key West. But if you're coming down for water activities, spring and summer are usually your better time to do that. You're going to have longer daylight hours, calmer. The water's going to be a little bit calmer, and the water's going to be a little bit warmer. If you want lower crowds and maybe, fingers crossed, a little cheaper prices, September's a good month. Early October, of course, when you get closer to Fantasy Fest, prices go up and the crowds will be in. I think November, right after Thanksgiving to Christmas, not the week of Christmas, but through Christmas is usually a slow time because that's the in-between and everybody's doing all their Christmas shopping and holiday events. And so that can be a lot lower crowds. And if you are definitely wanting to come in for one of the big festivals, such as Fantasy Fest, you probably want to book as early as you possibly can to make sure you have a room and a place and that you've got your activities locked in. As you can see, time in Key West is more than just looking at a clock. It's about planning that perfect experience. What you need to do if you are a first timer is head over to FunInKeyWest.com. Check out all of our information. We have tips on where to stay, where to eat, where to drink, and lots of activities and suggestions on what to do. We work with amazing travel partners, and you can book your tours straight from our site. Same price. It just gives us a little bit of the support at no extra cost to you. But sign up for our happy hour list that gets you on our newsletter and gets you in the know of what's happening at Fun in Key West as well as what's happening in Key West. I am Michelle with Fun in Key West, and I hope this First Timer Friday gave you an idea that it's more than just the clock in Key West. It's about that perfect experience for you and what you want to do. Enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk to you later. And that's a wrap on First Timer Friday. Big thanks to all of you for tuning in and letting me ramble about how time in Key West is so much more than just ticking clocks and daylight savings. Because honestly, who wants to live by a schedule when you're on island time? Here's the quick recap for all my note takers out there. Key West time is a vibe. It's all about soaking in the moments, whether you're chasing sunsets or sipping mojitos. Timing matters for activities. Longer summer days mean extra snorkeling time, and yes, tide charts are a thing if fishing is on your list. Plan a little, relax a lot, even if your bucket list is massive. Remember to leave space for Key West's endless surprises. Before you go full-on travel daydream mode, hit the like button if Island Time is officially calling your name. Share this episode with your friends who still thinks Key West is only about Duval Street. And let me know your favorite way to spend your time in Key West. Lazy hammock naps, epic water adventures, all of the above. And don't forget, Fun in Key West has got your back with insider tips on where to stay, what to do, and to totally boss Key West like a pro. Head over to FunInKeyWest.com for the ultimate guide to island life. And while you're there, grab the happy hour list. Free mojito tips? Yes, please. Until next time, keep it breezy, keep it flexible, and keep it Key Westy.